What are you doing, Charles?
I'm trying to build more carbon in the soil and get rich.
Get rich, mate. You're going to go broke if you're trying to build your carbon with charcoal, mate. The best way to get soil carbon improved is to manage the plants and the photosynthesis. A key challenge we have in Australia is how can we build and maintain higher soil carbon in our rural landscapes. The level of carbon in your topsoil is a balance between how much is coming in through photosynthesis, and this depends on how you manage plants, and how much is breaking down and going back into the atmosphere through respiration. The final part of the equation is how much of your soil carbon is forming that long-term soil carbon called humus. Here in the Kiewa Valley in northeast Victoria, you can have carbon levels from 2% to 4 or 5%, depending on the soil type and the management of the paddock. And the key thing for building soil carbon is how you manage your plants. So what can you do in your business to build soil carbon? Well, the first thing to do, no matter whether you're grazing, cropping or in horticulture, is to maximise the amount of plants that you grow through the year. The second thing you can do is maximise the root volume in your topsoil. This means having good soil health so that your plants can express as much roots as possible. They're the first two things you can do to really improve the soil carbon equation for yourself. The next thing you can do is to minimise the disturbance. So tillage, overgrazing, bare ground, all of these things increase respiration. Over-fertilising can also impact respiration, and respiration means more carbon going into the atmosphere, so you're losing that potential soil carbon. So by increasing the amount of photosynthesis going into the soil and by minimising your disturbance, you have more of a chance to build that long-term soil carbon that we're all chasing, that we call humus. There are times where to improve your plant production, fertilisers and soil amendments are really important tools. But you need to be realistic about, are you improving plant growth when you're using those tools? And a final thing to consider when you're thinking about increasing carbon is how much can I realistically achieve? Can I increase my carbon by 1%, 2%, 3%? That's going to be determined a fair bit by the climate, your soil type, as well as your management. So being realistic in how much carbon you can build is going to be a really important decision if you're thinking about going down the soil carbon project pathway.